Welcome back to Campus Connections. We've made our way over into our campus kitchen, and today we're going to be making barbecue beef and biscuits. And what you're going to need is you're going to need a pound of ground beef, which we've already made over here. We'll see in just a second. You'll also need a cup of brown sugar. You'll need some Worcestershire sauce, some liquid smoke is what it's called, so you can find it at any grocery store. 8 biscuits, just a can of normal biscuits that you find at the grocery store, shredded cheese, and then you're going to need a half a cup of ketchup. And what you're going to do is first off go ahead and take your beef and fry it on your skillet. Set the heat to about medium high just to make sure it cooks really well. You don't want to have any meat that's raw or anything because that could potentially make you sick. So go ahead and fry that up. We fry that up and it's right over here. So I'm just going to bring that over and put it into a mixing bowl. Just like that. Also make sure that you strain out all of the fat that comes off of the meat afterwards, and don't put it down your pipes because that obviously can cause some huge plumbing problems. So be careful and beware of that. So we have our beef, it's all chopped up and ready to go, and next you can just start adding your ingredients. So I'm going to take our cup of brown sugar and dump that in there. And you'll want like a spoon to mix everything up in too. Okay, next we're going to take our Worcestershire sauce, and the directions just say a couple of shakes, so this comes out in drops, so we just add a couple drops there. You don't need a lot. It comes out slowly for a reason because too much of it can be a very strong taste. Next we're going to take our liquid smoke, which adds a barbecue flavor to it. That's why it's named BBQ Beef and Biscuits. Just take this off and a couple shakes just like that. And put that back, and then just take your half cup of ketchup and spoon that in. Okay, and then once you have all that in your big mixing bowl, you can just go ahead and mix all that together. Make sure you mix it nice and evenly so it spreads out even. You're going to top it on your biscuits here in just a second. You can just use a spoon or anything you have to mix. And if you want to cook more than 8 biscuits, you'll need more meat. This is a pound of ground beef, so if you'll want more than that, you'll obviously need to buy a little more meat. But it's all up to you. You really can make it what you'd like to. That is pretty good right there. Perfect. So once you're done, you can set that aside just for the time being. And next, you'll go over to your biscuits, and we have 8 biscuits. And what you do is you just take like a muffin tin or something like that, and go ahead and make sure you spray it with cooking spray first. Then just go ahead and put those at the bottom of the cooking tin. Just like that. And one more. Perfect. And so next what you're going to do is, obviously you have the muffin tin is not as high as the biscuits, so you're going to take your beef and all that good stuff that you mix together and top the rest of those with your beef. So top it just like that. Don't top it too high just because the biscuits obviously are going to expand and you don't want to get too much overflowing and have a mess when you take it out of the oven. So just go ahead and don't fill it super high. And really this isn't too hard to make at all. You know, after this we're just going to throw it into the oven, and it's just a great way to make something quick and just kind of throw things together. So not a whole lot of difficult cooking technique needed to make this. And last one here. Great. And finally, you're going to take your shredded cheese that you have sitting aside. And this is the last step before you bake it. And then all you're going to do here is just sprinkle some cheese on top. You can use any kind of shredded cheese you want. I mean, that is really up to your discretion. Alright, so now we have all those done, they're ready to go, and we're going to go ahead and take them over to our oven. As far as how long you need to heat your oven beforehand, all depends on what the can of biscuits says that you buy. So ours told us to preheat our oven to 350 degrees, which we've already done. I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. And then also for how long to cook them, you'll also want to pay attention to what it says on your can of biscuits. So ours said 13 to 17 minutes, so most likely it'll be about 15 minutes, but just until the biscuits are golden brown or so. So we'll let those cook and wait and see how they look. Let's recap today's recipe. Barbecue beef and biscuits. You'll need 1 can of biscuits, 8 count, 1 pound of ground beef, shredded cheese, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 of a cup of ketchup, a couple shakes of Worcestershire sauce, a couple shakes of liquid smoke, and a muffin tin. First, preheat your oven to the temperature required as listed on the can of biscuits. Next, turn on your stove and begin to brown and cook your ground beef. Now, spray your muffin tin with cooking spray and line the pan with your biscuits. In a small bowl, put in your mixture of brown sugar, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and liquid smoke, along with the ground beef, and mix. Once you have stirred all of this together, scoop the barbecue beef onto the biscuits. Sprinkle cheese onto the top of the biscuits, and finally put the biscuits into the oven. Cook for as long as the can of biscuits requires. Alright, we've went ahead and took our biscuits out and we let them sit a little bit. Obviously they get pretty hot and the biscuits a little lower in the pan, so let them sit a little bit and cool down. We've taken one out to cool, and now it's the best part is to taste test it. Take a little bite out of it here. They're outstanding. You can definitely taste the barbecue. We'll be right back after this.